Isn't it funny that so often the thing that we cling to most passionately, that we think is our greatest comfort, often ends up being our kryptonite? It's a curious way that my mind, I have a good mind, I have a good, strong intellect, and I know that when I was a kid, so much of my strength derived in what I knew. It was my safety zone. It was, in some ways, a sanctuary. Creativity was always a sanctuary. But getting out of any tight spot, I always pulled out my mind because that was really an important thing. And I was good. It was muscly. It was strong. And it proved to be a very handy tool. But life has this uncanny way of serving up exactly what, and I will say this first person, exactly what I needed in order for me to grow and understand who I truly am. And that discovery goes on and on. And so often in that uncanny way that life serves up, the uninvited guest or the unsolicited opportunity to shake me from its listless slumber. It's the accident, the quiet sorrow, the inconsolable cry for what can't be solved, or the incurable disease. And the funny thing was, in 2011, so that's about 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and I was so healthy. I was yogini. My mom was a yoga teacher, so I grew up practicing yoga from the time I was, a little one. And my parents also were organic farmers, so I was a yogini, eating organic food, doing what I loved, which was music. I thought I had everything. Oh, and meditation. I am a daily meditator. So I thought I'd checked all the boxes of the to-dos, and I didn't even think of cancer as a possibility. But my mind was so steely and strong, I wasn't feeling very well, but I was so good with the mind over matter thing, That mind over matter, boy, it's like, oh, if I just think this away, it's going to be gone. My mind is so strong. But I got sicker and sicker, and I didn't even think cancer. But I ended up with 2 very huge tumors and innumerable pulmonary embolisms, and I had a 3% chance of survival. And I was very surrendered, but I also was like, I want to be here. I still feel like there's a lot for me to discover and explore here in this human form. And fortunately, I survived. And I survived. I went back to my yoga. I went back to just like, I'm alive. What a great thing. And I sort of jumped back into the familiar patterns of trusting the mind and opening up the heart. But still, when push came to shove, I always went back to the familiar pattern of my mind knows better. And boy, 5 years after my original survival, the cancer recurred. And I, again, was in this place of, no, I'm healed. It's not coming back. I'm so healthy. My Ashtanga practice is better than ever. And it did come back. And this time again, I was right on the edge I was within 48 hours of having a perforated bowel. And so performed emergency surgery, and I survived very surprisingly. And at that point, boy, Cynthia, I remember talking to you, like, what is this about? This shadow that I'm being invited to dance with. And the shadow invited me into dreams and into my heart in a way that was not just the heart of love, because I always was connected to love, to loving here, but not necessarily to loving and accepting what was in here. And I went through the chemotherapy again, and my numbers went back. I thought I was healed. And then the cancer came back again. Wow. What is here? How is this growing me? How is this inviting me into a deeper understanding of myself, of my heart, of my beingness, of my relationship to myself and to God and to the world around me? And that's when I truly surrendered. You know, the mind thinks, but the heart knows. And as a creative person, I realized that it wasn't so much the challenge of cancer. It wasn't a crisis or a disease, but it was a crisis of imagination. To be able to dance with this challenge and understand a new way of perceiving how this challenge was really here for one thing and one thing only. And that was to grow me, to evolve my understanding of who I am and how to be, and not to evolve my understanding, but to evolve my beingness, the heartedness of it. It's about play and discovery. It's a dance. People often talk about being a cancer survivor, and I understand that for others, but I'm not a cancer survivor. I'm a thriver. Yes. And the thriving comes because it was never a battle, it was a discovery, and it was a surrender. Because what I know, chicks, when they come into their egg, they have everything they need. They have all the nutrients, they have all the protection and safety, they have every resource required for them to grow and evolve. And as they grow and evolve, suddenly something becomes uncomfortable, and they experience this sense of suffocation. And it is that suffocation, that sense that they are almost dying, that prompts them to crack through the shell. And it's once they crack through the shell that they realize, oh, this is what I'm here for. And then once that little baby bird is in the nest, the mother bird intentionally puts pokey twigs in the nest, because if the nest is too comfortable, they won't fly. So I got poked a couple of times so that I could realize that I'm here to fly. Yeah. We're all here to fly. We're all here not to just fly, but to soar. And that when we surrender to our heart's knowing and are held in that embrace, and we can listen to that voice of the divine saying, oh baby, you're not dying. You're not dying at all. You're here to crack through that shell and discover the life that's waiting for you. And when you feel that poke on your side, and when it seems like, oh my God, what the heck is going on? This is terrifying. That poke is just that urge, that life's urgency calling each one of us to be most fully aligned with our authentic beings, with our true expression of love and life. That's when we soar. And I can only say that we are here to thrive. Thrive, truly thrive, to be an authentic and transparent expression of the divine, speaking and moving and being and dancing and laughing and living and being with our children and our grandchildren and our works of art and our communities and our neighbors and our parents and our strangers we have yet to even know, but we know are an inherent part of who we are because we are all in this together. And it is in our togetherness that we really come alive. So, like Howard Thurman said, don't ask, what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, because what the world needs is more people who have come alive. So